Yo, what's good? Welcome back to another moveset guide video, and for today's video we are going to be featuring Ceruledge. Looking at Ceruledge's stats, it's got 125 attack, which is pretty good, actually really good. It's got 100 on the special defense and a pretty average speed. But for this current build, we are going to be running the Jolly nature. You're more than welcome to run Adamant as well. And the item we're going to be using for this build, and it does have other options which we will later discuss in the future builds. We're going to be using Focus Sash, and it's got two abilities. It's got Flash Fire and Weak Armor. This Pokemon's fire attacks do 1.5 damage if it is hit by a fire type move, and we get fire immunity. It's really good on switch-ins. So if you have like a Scizor or a Fortress, pretty much any Pokemon that's super effective to fire types, you can bring in the Ceruledge. Of course, depending on how high IQ your opponent is, he will pretty much, be able to predict that. But it's better to be safe than sorry. Just an option for a switch in. Flash Fire is actually really handy and very scary as well. And we got Weak Armor. If a physical attack hits the Pokemon, defense is lowered by 1, speed is raised by 2. Both really good abilities depending on the build. We will discuss Weak Armor in later builds as well, which is actually pretty nice. But for the moves, we have Swords Dance, which will increase our attack by 2. We have Shadow Claw, Close Combat, which will lower our defenses, unfortunately, but it's a high power hitting move. And we have Ceruledge's exclusive move, which is the Bitter Blade. I think I'm pronouncing that right, but user recovers 50% of the damage dealt. Very scary move. And with the Swords Dance, we're going to be just doing huge damage, close combat, Shadow Claw with the high critical hit ratio. Not guaranteed, but Swords Dance, Shadow Claw, crit, you know what I'm saying? Nonetheless, feel free to swap out close combat for Shadow Sneak for priority. It's also an option. That's why I had it nicknamed up here, just so I didn't forget. You're more than welcome to run Life Orb as well, or Clear spelled Clear Amulet wrong, which is one of the new items. So Clear Amulet just pretty much prevents other Pokemon from lowering this Pokemon stat changes. So no attack drops, no speed drops, stuff like that. Moving on to the next build, we have the Weakness Policy Endure. These are starting to become my favorite, not gonna lie. I feel like it'll catch people off guard, but with this one is actually very special because we mentioned weak armor. So if we get hit by a physical attack, our defense is going to be lowered, but we're going to get a speed increase by 2. With this build, feel free to run Adamant, but with the weakness policy, we are going to get our special attack and attack boost. Of course, weakness policy will activate if we get super effective. And weak armor, we're regardless still going to get hit to get the speed boost, but physically, only physical attacks. But nonetheless, we have Bitter Blade, Shadow Claw, Close Combat. Feel free to change Close Combat to Shadow Sneak, whatever works best for you. If you want to be crazy and just be a greedy player, this could also work too. You Swords Dance and you're going to live a hit or something, and then they didn't activate your weakness policy, but you activated Weak Armor. Get that Endure up if you know you're going to get hit by a super effective attack, and then you just get free weakness policy and you're just ready to sweep. Depending on the situation, keep that in mind. Next build, nickname this one Crippled. Something to catch people off guard to prevent Pokemon from setting up stats or hazards. We got Taunt. We have the Will-O-Wisp to burn those physical targets. Can we just be problematic and just catch people off guard? Like I said, we got the Bitter Blade and the Shadow Claw. Pretty self-explanatory. Jolly or Adamant, the stats are going to be the same, or the EV spread for both Jolly and Adamant for these builds that we are discussing. And we have the next build, which is just going to be a full-on power build. We have Choice Band. 1.5. remember, this is a lock-on item, so if you click Bitter Blade, you're pretty much just locked into Bitter Blade until you switch out. We got Bitter Blade, we got Shadow Claw, we got Close Combat, and we got Poison Jab for those I was gonna say steel types, but the fairy types. Fairy types. I forget what else is super effective to fairy or poison. I know grass types are, but I think it's just safe to have. You can always swap it out for something else. If you don't want close combat, it's got Brick Break. It's got Dragon Claw. That can also be something to catch the dragon types. There's a lot of dragon mons running around. Let's see. We'll talk about some of these other moves as well. Iron Head could be an option as well. But yeah, Choice Band, Ceruledge. Let's keep it moving. Life Orb. We got Life Orb or Heavy Duty Boots. These are just optional sets or builds. If you're worried about dark types, we got X Scissor. We got Phantom Force as its other ghost type moves. I think if you use Power Herb and Phantom Force, it'll be a one turn move. But the cool thing about Phantom Force is that if a Pokemon uses Protect, Phantom Force will still do just regular damage or just potentially knock people out. Pretty much Protection doesn't work. It doesn't protect from Phantom Force, which is actually cool. Solar Blade, if you plan on using this Pokemon for like a sunny day team, it's got Solar Blade. It's a 125 base power. It's a two charge move. So it charges turn 1, hits turn 2, no charge in sunlight. There you go. And it also has access to Flare Blitz, but if you're worried about recoil, then just stick with the Bitter Blade. This is just mainly for huge damage. I think I also had this for for Choice Band. Just imagining Choice Band with Flare Blitz, you're just leaving dents on the Pokemon. But for the last build, we have a VGC build. Now this VGC build, I seen it last second, but it's a VGC set with the Adamant Nature. It's got 252 HP, 116 on the attack, 60 on the defense, 12 on the special defense, speed 68. And for this build, we are running Bulk Up with the Clear Amulet to prevent stat drops. We got Bitter Blade, and we have the Terra Blast Grass. Very interesting coverage for Ceruledge, as it is super effective to ground type moves, and Terra Grass will definitely catch people off guard. We got the Donzo running around, or the Donzo, whatever you want to call that, Killer Whale. We got Shadow Sneak priority. So it's very techie stuff here. It also gets access to Destiny Bond, which can definitely catch people off guard. That's my thing with some of these builds, is just mainly to try to catch people off guard, man. They never expect something, and people get, caught up in these current builds or the meta. Like Cycle Cut is also an option. Let's see what else we have. Stored Power. The Stored Power can potentially work on this weakness policy with the weak armor, because Stored Power pretty much works with stats. Let me see. So it's 20 base power, but plus 20 power for each of the user's stat boosts. So pretty much you're gonna get the stat boost from the weakness policy, which is at 2 stages from attack and special attack, plus 2 in speed. So it's just crazy damage. Nonetheless, let's see what else this Pokemon can do. By far one of my favorite Pokemon designs as well. Ally Switch for doubles. We've talked about Endure. It's got access to Helping Hand, Quick Guard. It also gets access to Sunny Day, but I wouldn't recommend setting up Sunny Day with Ceruledge. But that pretty much is Ceruledge. And like I said before, if you guys have any other big brain builds, feel free to comment them down below. I will leave a Pokepaste of Ceruledge, a Ceruledge team. It will be by VGC Fetty or Fed Campo. This is his build. Not here to take credit or anything. Just wanted to, you know, throw it out there because this is something that can be very useful for, you know, other people that want to try VGC. So here's a build. But thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.